Okay, so just a quick response to the result of Joshua versus Klitschko. I don't have pay-per-view, so I was watching it on Radio 5 Live. And even listening to it on Radio 5 Live, um, there was a few live stream events going on Facebook, but none of them was particularly good quality. Even listening to that, I got a palpable sense that this was a really great fight. Eddie Hearns just said it's one of the greatest heavyweight bouts of all time. Everything I've heard from people online, from interviews on TV, the BBC was covering this as breaking news, would testify to that. This was a fight that did live up to the hype. Um, an enormous credit to both fighters. I mean, all the speculation about this one was that it would not go this far, that there would be a knockout by either guy in one of the earlier rounds, but to go 11 rounds says two things. It says something about the incredible durability of a 41-year-old Klitschko and also the incredible comeback power of a relatively inexperienced Anthony Joshua. Now, Joshua has just propelled himself as probably, almost certainly, the greatest heavyweight in the world today. As I understand it, this was only half of a unification, but it may as well be a unification because the sort of star power that Joshua is going to get now, I think, is going to be like Canelo for the middleweights. It's going to be huge. Um, and 90,000 people, that's astonishing. Like I said in my video about the largest fight attendances in history, we have to go back to 1939 in Britain to see something on this scale between Jock McAvoy and Len Harvey. But this is a fight for the ages, and that round five, the commentators on Radio 5 Live were comparing it to Hagler Hearns. So I was just getting an image in my mind. Even listening to it was exciting. Must have been a real war. Um, with Klitschko fights, there's always a notion that it's going to be boring. And there were people saying that because these are both big fighters, it was just going to be a boring, kind of slow fight. I think the exact opposite is true. So both fighters have really shown greatness tonight in what they're capable of. Joshua in his comeback power, and Klitschko simply for the fact that he's a 41-year-old fighter who's went in with a young, powerful Olympian who's 14 years his junior and has survived 11 rounds and has shown great speed and energy. There was one point, I forget which round, but they said it was Klitschko that looked like the younger man. So I will look forward to watching this when someone uploads it to YouTube or whatever. But yeah, it sounds like one for the ages. It's going to be up there, I think, with would be a push to the greatest heavyweight fight of all time. That would be a push. It's probably not on the scale of Lewis Schmeling 2 or the Rumble in the Jungle, but it's definitely the greatest heavyweight fight of this decade, and it will, I think, be in the top 10. So, yeah, must have been something for anyone who was there. So that's just my thoughts. Clearly, Anthony Joshua is going to go places. He's only 27. This is only his 19th fight. He can only go up from here. I think it's fair to say he is Britain's greatest heavyweight since Lennox Lewis. And I don't take anything away from Tyson Fury's previous victory over Klitschko, but I just don't think that was the same Klitschko. I've seen that fight. I don't think the Klitschko in that fight had the same rebound, the same sort of energy as he did in this one. And it had half the crowd size, and it just wasn't quite the same sort of fight. Not to take anything away from Fury, that was a big achievement, but it sounded like this one was a lot more action packed. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of things going on. I could see Joshua versus Wilder. I could see Joshua versus Parker, Joshua versus Fury. Anything can happen. As for Klitschko, if he were to retire now, no boxing fan in the world can have nothing but respect for the great Vladimir Klitschko. I still think he is one of the top 10, possibly top 5 greatest heavyweights of all time. And there you have it. Thank you for watching, and let me know your thoughts if you watch it live.